Hello again, everybody. This is Comic Book Hangover. It is Friday, so that means it's time for another full run Friday, and today I decided to go ahead and finish off my Ghostwriter runs. This has been this would be part 3 of a 3-part series of videos just covering my main Ghostwriter comics, and it's not even including stuff like these trades. I've got the Ghostwriter Team Up. Of course, I have Danny Ketch Classic, my favorite Ghostwriter right there. And this is actually the first printing of the Danny Ketch Classic. This was just Ghostwriter Resurrection with an awesome Mark Texiera cover there. Excuse me. The first printing, I got to replace this bag, but the first printing of the Rise of the Midnight Suns storyline. This one had a sort of a double gatefold cover, so you got a full image of Lilith and the Lilin and the Midnight Suns. But then they reprinted that as Spirits of Vengeance, Rise of the Midnight Suns. And this one includes a few more issues that are not included in that first print. So aside from those, we're going to talk about... Actually, I'm just going to show off the rest of my Ghostwriter books. This is going to include the Daniel Way series, such as it was. The most recent series, also Ghostwriter 2099, various one-shots and mini-series and just all kinds of stuff in there. So let's get to it. I'm going to flip this camera around and get on to some Ghostwriter stuff. All right, and here we go. So we're going to just start off where I left off last time. So last time it was the Danny Ketch series that I had done, and make some final adjustments here. And so we're going to start off with the Daniel Way series, which to me was the next series that came out that, actually was Ghostwriter, sort of. It was Blaze, but ever since that movie came out, those movies came out, they have changed Blaze's look and sort of amalgamated him and Ketch. So it's Johnny Blaze, but he looks like Danny Ketch, but he kind of has a Johnny Blaze-esque motorcycle. But the main plus here is we had Mark Texiera coming back and Javier Sartorius coming back. The guys who put together the Danny Ketch Ghostwriter series. So it had a great look to it. So I stuck with it for a little while, just because the art style. I really didn't care for the story. It seems like over the past couple of years, the story has really gotten overly complicated with Ghostwriter, with all the religious aspects, and then you've got all the multiple Ghostwriters from different cultures and different times around the world. Now they've got a Ghostwriter from prehistoric times where he rides a flaming woolly mammoth, and it's all stuff that just doesn't make any sense when it comes to the concept of Ghostwriter up to this point. Well, up to the point where I really stopped following the character. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this character, and for the most part, when they announce a new series or a mini series or one shot or something like that, I'm gonna be on board. And this one here, I really like. This is sort of a Marvel Zombies homage. It's not actually Marvel Zombies, but it's Arthur Sadum, who did the Marvel Zombies covers, and this is sort of an homage of Ghostwriter's first appearance, which is kind of cool. And anyway, it would be nice if we could get Ghostwriter back to basics. Is essentially what I'm saying here. It's a great character, a great concept. Visually, in my own opinion, he's one of the best characters around as far as his look goes. And you really cannot beat a flaming skull and the motorcycle with the flaming wheels. Now this one was more along the lines of a traditional Johnny Blaze, except for the chain and the spikes. Something else I don't understand why suddenly I never liked this cover. I know it's a text cover, but that facial expression, I couldn't do it. But this. Anyway, I don't want to talk about all the negative stuff here. This is going to be really negative. So this was the last issue of this series that I had picked up. I couldn't do it anymore, but I did grab the annual. I don't know why, but I grabbed the annual for it. But he's just it may seem like I'm really being negative about the whole thing, but the fact of the matter is the character is what got me in the comic book. So he does have special meaning for me and my collection, and it's something that I really want to. I want him to be a good character, and I want him to succeed. And I get tired of all the stuff that they're doing with the character and the concept now. And I mean, I've said many times before, I'm not a fan of Robbie Reyes. I'm sure as a human character, he's a great character, but he's not a ghostwriter. He drives a car. And so I've always referred to him as Ghost Driver. And he just, as far as his Ghost Driver look, I don't like anything about it. But, again, that's just my own personal opinion. I'm sort of old school. So now this is the most recent series that came out for Ghostwriter that was doing really good. I probably picked up more variant covers for this one than I needed to. But it was doing really good, and it was another one of those things that sort of fell victim to the pandemic. But fortunately, with all the variants that I got, I do have a nice section and selection of this series. So there's I don't know what they call these variants, but there's that one. This one was a back and front cover, and this is actually what they used to promote the series. Just Ghostwriter's gloved hand holding a flaming chain. Which again, that was Johnny Blaze, but they gave him a chain. It's just really weird. Mark Texiera, goodness there. One of my favorite Ghostwriter artists. And then there's this issue 1. We're still on issue 1 here. Second printing of the first issue. I like that cover. Now we can get to the second issue. Issue 2. Ghostwriter versus Ghost. Now, see, this I kind of liked his. This is more the Danny Ketch Ghostwriter, and if you can see here, the Blaze Hell King Ghostwriter is wearing more of the traditional Johnny Blaze outfit, so that was pretty cool. And there's a variant for number 2. So there's the Ghostwriter that got me into it. So that I had to have this cover. There was no doubt about it. Issue 3 with some Mephisto goodness there. Now, this series was actually pretty decent for what it was. Another variant for issue 3. I don't know if I got variants for all of them, but we'll find out. But it was a pretty good series. Although I wasn't quite sure what the long-term plan for the book was. I know it focused on Blaze and him being the king of hell and not really wanting to do it, and Mephisto playing his games and trying to regain control of hell. Here, look at it, another variant cover, and then they turn. This is Danny Ketch, became like the spirit of something else. I don't remember what it was, but they made some changes to the mythos, more changes to the characters. Most of it was good. Most of it was sort of evolution of these characters, and I didn't mind it. The problem is that just like with the first series that I collected, I like this one because this is and you'll see it in here, Hearts of Darkness. This is the third time now. They refer to this as Hearts of Darkness 2, but there were already 2 Hearts of Darkness one shots. So this was technically Hearts of Darkness 3, and it's where we had Wolverine, Punisher, and Ghostwriter. It was the Danny Ketch Ghostwriter, and this is Ketch in his new form going against. This was Blackheart. First time it was Mephisto, then it was Blackheart, I believe. A nice. I don't know about Doctor Strange's haircut on that cover. That doesn't look like Doctor Strange to me. But anyway, it was a fun book. Nice variant covers, even something like this one. I'm not really a big fan of Spider-Woman. I like her original costume, and she seems like an interesting character. I just never really got into her. I was always more of a She-Hulk fan. Marvel Zombies variant, because we always have to have the Marvel Zombies variant. But this was now here's the King in Black special. I think this was actually delayed quite a bit. That's pretty much the only. I think I read maybe one other King of Black issue. I just couldn't get into it. Not a big fan of Danny Ketch, or Donny Cates, rather. But that series was great. It fell victim to the pandemic of 2020. It got canceled before the series was able to properly finish. They did a one-shot, which I do have. It's the Return of Vengeance, the character Vengeance. I have that. We'll see that in a second, but it brought back a lot of bad memories for me, because when the Danny Ketch series was going, is if you'll check out my Danny Ketch video, it was supposed to, they talked about issue 100 for that Ghostwriter, and then said, well, we're only going to go up to issue 94, and then issue 93 came out, and then they ended it there, on a major cliffhanger. So that's kind of what happened here as well. We, it was going great. I mean, it had rave reviews. Fans loved it. I enjoyed it. Like I said, there were a few things about it that I wish were a little different, but for the most part, I really enjoyed the series and was really hopeful that it would last a while. But, 2020 happened and killed it, and you just have to move on. So now we've got one of the better variations of the Ghostwriter concept, Ghostwriter 2099. Now this one here was a kid named Zero Cochran, who was a hacker in the year 2099. And through a series of events, he wound up getting his soul, his spirit, transferred into this robotic body, sort of like a Terminator body. Now, he was a big fan of Ghostwriter, so he made up his costume, made up his gimmicks to sort of mimic Ghostwriter. Now, the flames on here, in some books, they always draw the flames to be real flames, but the reality is, this Ghostwriter, the flame was a hologram. It wasn't even real. And that's how they sort of represented it in this series, was with a series of lines through it. So that was just purely hologram. And he wasn't really a true spirit of vengeance. I mean, there was no hellfire and brimstone. There really was no Mephisto involved. It was all technological. But, I mean, he still was a spirit, sort of a ghost in the machine type thing. And he was out for revenge for his death. And I think a friend of his died or something like that. But it's been forever since I've read this series. But I do remember it being a really, really well done book. The art in it was just so much fun. And, the character, I mean, he had in this series, he had a really nasty attitude. Had some great covers. Some very unique covers for it. And I believe this next one here is, I don't think it's the first. I think some people try to say that it was the first computer-generated image on a comic book cover, but I don't think it was. I think there was a Batman book that predated this, but it was kind of like the first, I guess it's first a hologram cover, or a first computer-generated cover for sort of a mainstream comic book that was widely available and was part of a series. And then it became 2099 AD when Doom 2099 took over America, which was a great story, but unfortunately that was a story that kind of killed the whole 2099 family. In my opinion, it seems like after that, it's like they didn't really know what to do with the concept anymore. It was sort of building up to that, and they brought all the books in, which may have been a mistake. But still, we had a few good issues out there. Some great Ashley Wood covers. And Ashley Wood did a series for IDW with Chris Ryall called Zombies vs. Robots. One of my favorite zombies books, and one of my favorite IDW books of all time. And so Chris and Ashley did that, and some great Ashley Wood covers, great Ashley Wood artwork on there. It's just some amazing stuff. And I think this was part of a collage. So you get this one and all the other 2099 books that came out at the time, and you get an overall image. Another great Ashley Wood cover. We're nearing the end of this one. I think this ran for 25 issues. And they got into the spiritual aspect of it. And I think they even brought in a 2099 version of Vengeance. But there's a final issue for that. And then they rebooted the whole idea with this. And the covers were great, but the retelling of the origin, the reworking of the origin just didn't work for me. And I didn't really care for it. That whole era, that whole run of 2099, I grabbed, I think, all of them. Venom 2099, Doom 2099, and my personal opinion, they weren't that good. So moving on, Spirits of Vengeance, number 1. Now this is still polybagged, Probably not a good idea because I got the polybag signed by Adam Kubert. Probably not my best decision, but it happened. And then there's issue 2. Another great cover there. Now this, I have 2 copies of issue 2, and this one is not in the best of condition. I don't believe. It's actually in better condition than I thought. But this I found in a dollar box, and it's also signed by Adam Kubert. And it was in a dollar box at my LCS. So I was like, all right, well, sweet, I'll grab that. One of my favorite covers for this series. Not my absolute favorite cover, but one of. Spirits of Vengeance was part of the Midnight Suns. The Ghostwriter character was really popular, so they wanted to expand on the concept, bring in other books, sort of have a whole family of things, sort of like how X-Men are a family of books and Spider-Man are a family of books. It did pretty well for a while. We got a really great crossover with Web of Spider-Man, where we got a really good confrontation between Ghostwriter and Venom. And my favorite cover for the series right here. Just an amazing Venom cover. So this series was good. It was fun. I mean, it served its purpose well. Slide this box up a little bit here. Had some great covers. This was also where the character Vengeance got introduced. Excuse me. Sort of, now Vengeance was introduced as sort of like, back in the day when Venom wasn't overused and he was a villain to Spider-Man. Vengeance was sort of Ghostwriter's Venom. Started off, and this is a cool cover because it's a glow-in-the-dark cover. So you get to see this, but then when you turn off the lights, the yellow parts glow, and it's the Midnight Suns medallion, the Medallion of Power, I think they called it. And then there's the Midnight Massacre book, which led into Road to Vengeance, which crossed over with the Ghostwriter series. It went back and forth. Another Vengeance cover there. And then after that, we go into the Siege of Darkness with these really cool covers. I like those covers. And not my favorite of the Siege of Darkness. Now, Siege of Darkness, I was going through some stuff, and I came across these. These were done, I'm assuming, to promote Siege of Darkness and the Midnight Suns. They are uncut cards. There's 3 of these. So you got Ghostwriter Blade and Johnny Blaze. On the back are Caretaker's log, sort of notes about the characters. And then there's this one with Strange, Morbius, and Zarathos. And finally, Centurious, Doctor Strange, and Vengeance. Some good stuff there. So I'm not sure exactly what those are, where they came from, or even where the heck I got them from. I'm always going through my stuff and finding things like that. I'm sure I'm not the only collector around that has stuff stashed away everywhere, and you come across like, oh, wait a minute, I completely forgot I had that. So, all right, so we're almost done with this. Cardiac Arrest. Cardiac was it was a cool character. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the MCU. Last issue there, Steel Wind. And now we're getting into some sort of random stuff here. This Ghostwriter and Cable. This is something I wish they would do more often. This was a story that was through the Marvel Comics Presents. It was the first Ghostwriter story that Marvel Comics Presents with art by Sam Keith. Well, the cover art was by Sam Keith. And so they collected it in this thing here called Servants of the Dead. And I always kind of wish they would do this with more of the Marvel Comics Presents stories, because some of those were pretty good. And this one, I'm not sure. I think it's a Cosmic Ghostwriter. I only got it because I love this cover. I'm not a fan of Cosmic Ghostwriter, though. But when he has a cool cover, he's got a cool cover. Ghostwriter Crossroads. This is where Blaze, I think Blaze and Ketch were in this one, and sort of got a little bit of a history of Ghostwriter. And truth or not, they were told in this book that there can only be one Ghostwriter at a time, but, considering the source. Now these ones here, I used to have all these, and somehow I lost some of them. These were in the Ghostwriter action figures. So I got most of these still, and I'm trying to replace the ones that I had lost. I do have this one. I got to open this one up still and get that comic book out of there and put that in my box, because to me that's where it belongs. And then we get probably one of my favorite one-shots, Ghostwriter Captain America Fear. This is where they fought Scarecrow. This is the first time Ghostwriter, the Danny Ketch Ghostwriter, and Captain America met. And their conversation's pretty cool. Now here's the Ghostwriter Wolverine Punisher Hearts of Darkness. It's the first time they all joined forces. And then there's Hearts of Darkness 2, The Dark Design. It's another really good one. And then we've got Ghostwriter Return of Vengeance. There's a few of these variants that I picked up. So there's that one. My favorite one, the Ron Garney one. I always loved how Ron Garney drew Ghostwriter and Vengeance. I don't know what it was, but to me, he's second only to Mark Texiera. Kyle Holtz. Love Kyle Holtz art. And then there's that one, because it's Vengeance. And this is the last one, the Ryan Stegman cover. I always wanted to see Stegman do Ghostwriter, and I finally got it. Then there was the Mother of Demons one-shot, sort of giving us an update on Lilith and what her deal is. Of course, there was a variant for that one I had to grab. And I don't remember the story. This is Spirits of Vengeance. I don't remember. I only grabbed the first issue. Didn't really care for it, so I didn't read it. But I grabbed a couple of the variant covers for the first issue, because, I mean, they were still pretty cool. And got that one recently. Then there's the Midnight Suns Ashcan edition. This is the cover that they used on Ghostwriter number 50, the Danny Ketch series. And then we're going to wrap this up with Midnight Suns Unlimited. Probably one of my favorite covers there. Issue 2. This was a quarter. The Unlimiteds were a quarterly family of books. There was Midnight Suns, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and X-Men, and it was just stories. Sometimes they were just one-off stories. Sometimes, like this one here, was the conclusion of Siege of Darkness. Spider-Man Unlimited began and ended the Maximum Carnage storyline. So it was a great way to sort of get other creators, other writers and artists to try these characters. So it was a neat thing. Nice Man-Thing cover there. And finally, that one. And that wraps those up. And there you go. My entire Ghostwriter run shared in 3 convenient videos. Actually, it's more than what I thought it was. I figured it'd be 2 videos to cover all these books. I'm a little surprised, a little amazed that it ended up being 3 videos for it. But with next year being the 50th anniversary of the first appearance of Ghostwriter, it's going to be. I'm hoping that we'll get some cool stuff. I know we've got a new Ghostwriter series coming out, featuring Johnny Blaze again. I don't know what they're going to do with Danny Ketch, but it's going to be Johnny Blaze. I've seen the cover for it. I'm not too. I gotta say, I'm not too enthused about the look for this iteration of him. But I don't know anything about it right now, because I don't know, I don't know where it is in relation to the previous series that we had. So I'm hoping that it kind of continues that, and the reason why Johnny Blaze Ghostwriter looks the way he does is because of something that happened when he lost control over Hell. So I'm hoping we're going to get some continuity there, though. Lately Marvel doesn't seem to have much interest in continuity, but I have hopes. I'm going in with, I'm not really enjoying the look, especially the bike. It's more like a Ghostwriter 2099 style bike, but again, I don't know the story behind it, so I'm willing to have as open a mind as possible, knowing that there's been a lot of misses for me with Ghostwriter. They've tried to do things with the character and with the concept that just didn't need to be done, and just kind of diluted his uniqueness. And I'm hoping that we can get back to that. I'm hoping that in 2022, celebrating the 50th anniversary, that we can sort of streamline the whole Ghostwriter concept and get back to basics. So I'm going to check it out. And with it being Ghostwriter, I think it's going to be one of those things that even if I don't like the first issue, I'm going to stick with it for a couple of issues just to see if it finally, if the motor starts to rev strongly, so to speak. So I have hopes for it. I'm excited about hopefully getting more Ghostwriter stuff in 2022. Even if it's just if it's an ongoing series, that's all we get out. I guess I'll be happy with that. But I would like to see. My personal thing that I would really like to get in 2022 is a Marvel Facsimile edition of Marvel Spotlight number 5. That would be to me. That would be great. I would love to get a reprint of his first appearance. But that said, I do have this Ghostwriter guy here. He's sort of like a doll, much I hate to say it, it's sort of like a Barbie doll. And you take the skull off, you take the jacket and the things off, and he becomes Danny Ketch. So I got that at Motor City Comic Con years ago. I also got the Ghostwriter Funko Pop. Now all these Funko Pops are because, just like my comic books, are because of that. I picked that up and wound up just getting in these other ones. I also have, in the other room, I've got my Eagle Mouse figures, little hand-painted. They were originally lead figures from England. I found out about those because I saw the Ghostwriter one, so now I've got like 40 or 50 of those that I'm probably going to sell quite a few of those off. Also on this shelf somewhere is the Funko of Ghostwriter on his motorcycle, which looks pretty cool, but I just can't bring myself to take it out of the box, But that said, that's my Ghostwriter collection. I'm hoping to have more Ghostwriter stuff to talk about next year, good or bad. I'm keeping as open a mind as I can. I'm hopeful that Marvel will do more for Ghostwriter than they did for Man-Thing and Darkhawk, celebrating their anniversaries. So we're hopeful. We're hopeful here at Comic Book Hangover. So we're gonna really look forward to and hope we have a good year celebrating the Ghostwriter. But that said, everybody, thanks for watching. Of course, Monday I'm going to have my first of the best of 2021 videos. I think this one, I thought about which one I want to do first, and I think I'm going to do my favorite covers. So I was looking through, and I was going to do just like one of each, but it turns out that there's quite a few covers that came out in 2021 that I really like. So I'm probably going to have maybe like 10 of my favorite covers from 2021 that I picked up. They're going to be in no particular order. They're just going to be, here's this one, then this one, then this one. So I'm going to do that one. I may have variant covers as a different video, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that'll be Monday, the first of my best of 2021 videos. And then, of course, next Thursday, again, another weekly haul, weekly review video. And then Full Run Friday, which may or may not go on hiatus for the rest of the year. I'm not sure yet. So we're going to see. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed checking out my Ghostwriter collection. And if you like, if you want to check out my other stuff, I do have a playlist for my Full Run Fridays, so you can check out the other books that I've gone through. I've gone through quite a few of my books already, and so if you want to see what else I have in my collection, definitely check out my Full Run Friday playlist. There should be somewhere probably here somewhere is going to be a little box that'll take you right to that playlist. So again, thanks for watching. If you're liking these videos, if you're enjoying what I'm doing, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, and share the videos, and just enjoy. And, enjoy your comics. I enjoy my comics. I enjoy looking at other videos. There's other videos I do enjoy checking out, but we'll talk about all that sort of stuff another time. We're going to wrap this up, get this thing, so I can get going on my day. I got a lot of stuff to do today. So everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you all Monday with the first of best of 2021 favorite covers. Have a good weekend.